Wow. So what you just saw is the moment one man made $1 million. Beaverview Bowl in Beaver Creek holding its final Queen of Hearts drawing. For the game, if your name is called, you get to flip a card. If the card you flip is the Queen of Hearts, you win like he just did. The raffle's been going on for nearly a year now with no winners, so the jackpot grew to over $1 million.
Now, the raffle and its prize brought this massive crowd out to the Beaver Creek bowling alley, with many hoping for that chance to win that life-changing prize. Gwyneth Falloon has been live out there all evening in Beaver Creek after speaking with multiple people who took part in this contest. And Gwen, what exactly was the response from tonight's drawing?
Elise, the response was almost overwhelming. It seemed like there was just an endless amount of people out here all waiting to find out if they were that lucky winner. But it was lucky card number 49, as we just saw, and the winner took home over $1 million. But take a look at some of this video from earlier this evening. You can see just thousands and thousands of people lining the streets outside of Beaverview Bowl. All tickets and wristbands to get inside were completely sold out, so people camped out outside. Some brought just lawn chairs, and others came fully loaded with portable grills and coolers. And even though only one person walked away with that jackpot, many people say they're just happy that someone won.
Someone's winning a big chunk. We are celebrating someone's winnings.
So a much different scene here tonight. It took over an hour for everyone to really kind of clear out, but a year of suspense and thousands of tickets all wrapped up here tonight. Back to you.
Gwen, thank you. A 19-year-old is now dead after an apparent shooting in Moraine early this morning. Moraine police say a report came in just after midnight of a possible shooting at North Lawn and Gladstone Streets. Police say a suspect involved ran away. They did find a car, though, they think belongs to them. They're still searching for that suspect tonight.
We now know tonight when this man right here behind me, accused of killing a Richmond police officer, Sierra Burton, will go on trial. Now, according to court documents from the Wayne County Circuit Court on Friday, Philip Lee will begin on trial, or his trial will begin February 10th of 2025. 10 pretrial conferences from October of 2023 to January of 2025 are also scheduled. Lee is charged with multiple felonies, including 2 counts of attempted murder. Prosecutors are seeking the death penalty.
Live look tonight from the Shelby County Jail website. Bond has now been set for this man who is accused of killing a 3-year-old boy back in June. Seth Mahoney is facing 2 murder charges and has his bond set at $250,000. He remains in jail tonight.
And the trial date for a former Milton Union custodian accused of rape will begin this fall. 59-year-old Jerry North had a pretrial conference this afternoon. Now a judge scheduled that trial to begin Monday, October 31st, and last 3 days. North is accused of raping a student under the age of 10 on school grounds. He's pled not guilty to all charges.
We're now coming up on a year since Clear Creek Township officer Eric Ney was shot in the line of duty. Tonight, he's sharing his journey to recovery with us. Ney has been in and out of the hospital ever since he was shot, and that bullet that nearly killed him still sits under his left eye. Now, Ney and his wife are sharing everything that they've been through.
When you got that call a year ago for you, Lisa, what was that like?
Actually, the police officers that were with him came to my door from Clear Creek to Vandalia, and I heard a knock at the door, and then I see somebody waving, and I'm like, what are they doing here? Really didn't think. And then as soon as I opened the door, one of the officers was crying, and he said, get your coat, get your purse, we're going. He said, Eric's been shot, and we need to go now. He didn't say where or how bad it was.
Mamie Baugh's sit-down interview with the Neys can be seen on our website at Dayton247now.com. You can look for the story. It's right at the top of the homepage.
A live look tonight from our Eagle Plumber Skycam across the Maumee Valley as the Maumee Valley Regional Planning Commission issued an air quality alert for tomorrow. The National Weather Service is forecasting some ground level ozone formation. The air quality index forecast for tomorrow is 105. Anything over 101 is unhealthy for sensitive groups. However, the general public is unlikely to be affected.
So let's talk about weather, and it sounds like we're going to have at least a couple of days of break from the rain.
Yeah, we got some nice weather on the way, a little warmer as we head into the day tomorrow. You'll notice that it will be more summer-like. A little bit more humid, but today was really nice, making it into the mid 80s, right around what we typically would see for this time of the year. We're in the 70s and 60s right now. Comfortable evening, 72 in Dayton. We have 68 Troy, 66 up in Wapakoneta, so feeling pretty good. As far as satellite and radar goes, hardly a cloud in the sky. Beautiful evening out there. We'll see some clouds tomorrow, mainly those afternoon cumulus clouds that develop with the heat of the day, but it's not until Wednesday we could potentially see some thunderstorms making their way, and you could actually see active weather up into Wisconsin as well as through Iowa, Minnesota right now. That's with our next weather maker that will be slowly scooting its way in, keeping some rain and storm chances in the forecast. But for the day tomorrow, looking good. Starting out in the 60s, we'll see sunshine, highs in the mid upper 80s as we head into tomorrow afternoon.
Tonight, we now know one suspect is dead and two others behind bars in connection to the I-70 officer-involved shooting in Columbus. The officer shot is still recovering tonight. 23-year-old Faisal Darad charged with aiding and abetting and the use of a firearm during a violent crime. The second suspect, 20-year-old Aiden Jama, was arrested in Chicago.
He will be removed to this district at the appropriate time. He'll have one, potentially a couple hearings in the Northern District of Illinois first. He's entitled to a detention hearing there if he wants, or he can try and have that hearing here. Either way, we've moved for him to remain detained as well.
Now, the third suspect shot by police has been identified as 19-year-old Abdizamad Ismail. Now, his cause of death is not known at this time. The other two suspects are now facing charges that could put them in federal prison for the rest of their lives.
I'm angry. I'm proud of the men and women in blue and the work that they did to bring this suspect to justice, or to this point where we're going to seek justice. I'm sad. I have a lot of emotions going through me right now.
Darad is due back in court on Wednesday. As for the suspect found in Chicago, it's not clear when he'll be brought back to Ohio.
The recent spike in violence across Cincinnati is highlighting the need for more mental health services to help people deal with the trauma those events cause, and to have those services available a little bit closer to home. Tyler Madden spoke with somebody leading the effort to make that a reality.
On Winnesty Avenue, Mitch Morris is continuing his outreach. Save Our Youth Kings and Queens operates out of a building there. Inside, a dedicated space for vital mental health services. He says it's important to have a permanent location, making it a more open and comfortable environment for people to come in and get help.
We have reached out to several different agencies, trauma agencies that's going to be able to come out here and assist people and help them get through whatever they might be struggling with. When you be consistent and build relationships, then you got a better chance of trying to have a better chance to talk to somebody. And so we try to do be visible, not a pop up one time. We got to be consistent and stay visible and stand people's face each and every day and let them know we truly care about you.
The Winton Terrace building will also house a computer lab and area to host guest speakers. The mental health services are available now through the group by appointment. I'm Tyler Madden reporting.
Tonight, local lawmakers are now urging the National Park Service to step up and help save the Wright Company factory site. Republican Congressman Mike Turner and Democratic Senator Sherrod Brown both signing off on a letter to the NPS. Now, in it, they stress the historical significance of the site and push for the purchase and restoration of the property. Now, you may remember back in March, a fire caused significant damage to the building. It is listed on the National Historic Register as the first aircraft manufacturing facility in the world. In April, Dayton City Commissioners approved a recommendation to enter into a contract with the Springboro developer to create redevelopment plans for the site.
You now have less than an hour to register to vote in the August 8th special election. So here's a look at the one issue on the ballot. Issue 1 wants to make it harder to amend the state constitution. If approved, that would require a 60% supermajority to pass an amendment instead of a 50% plus one simple majority. It would also change the signature gathering process, requiring signatures from 5% of electors in each of Ohio's 88 counties to not just the 44 it is now. Now you can register online at the website on your screen. That's voteohio.gov. You can register to vote, update and check your voter registration, and request an absentee ballot.
Developing news tonight as the Air Force, or U.S. Air Force, made a major announcement earlier today. Lydia Bice is at the Now Desk. And Lydia, what's going on?
That's right. The U.S. Air Force released a statement today saying that it will be delaying some moves and bonuses because of a budget shortfall. Now, in the statement, the service says that it has experienced higher than predicted personnel costs. As a result, most moves scheduled after July are on hold. The Air Force is also pausing some bonus payments, including those for re-enlisting and incentive pay for difficult assignments. Those bonuses are expected to resume in the new fiscal year, which begins on October 1st. The suspension also affects airmen who are expected to return to the U.S. from living overseas. Back to you.
Now, convicted sexual predator and disgraced USA Gymnastics doctor Larry Nasser is now recovering tonight after being stabbed in prison. It happened yesterday, and now corrections officers are being credited for saving his life. Nasser is now listed as stable. He was sentenced back in 2018 to up to 775 years in prison after more than 150 women and girls said he sexually abused them over the past 2 decades.
Turkey announced today that it will move forward with the approval process for Sweden's bid to join NATO. Now, Turkey has objected to that push since last year, but earlier today, its president tied Sweden's approval to Turkey's effort to join the European Union. The U.S. State Department weighed in, saying it supports Turkey's desire to join the EU, but notes these are two separate issues.
Turkey raised a number of concerns that it had with respect to Sweden. Sweden took steps to address those concerns. Sweden changed its constitution. It passed a new law. It's arrested terrorism suspects. It's prosecuting them.
Sweden would become the alliance's 32nd member. Finland joined NATO back in April.
In Lithuania, NATO leaders are gathering ahead of a 2-day summit meeting beginning tomorrow. President Biden is there sharing his opinions on why Ukraine isn't ready to join the alliance. Ukraine badly wants in to enjoy the military protections that NATO offers, but the war with Russia rages on, which is precisely why Biden says it can't happen right now.
If you did that, then, I mean what I say, we're determined to commit every inch of territory that is NATO territory. It's a commitment that we've all made no matter what. If the war is going on, then we're all in a war. We're at war with Russia if that were the case.
NATO's Article 5 recognizes as an armed attack on one member as an attack on all members. Now, it guarantees the resources of the entire alliance can be used to protect any member nation under attack. NATO leaders will discuss Ukraine's potential membership bid at this week's summit. Meanwhile, health officials giving an update after more positive cases of the West Nile virus ahead, where the virus was found and what officials are saying.
And Dayton Public Schools has an important update for parents, what they need you to respond to and why they need that response by the end of the week.
And we're tracking sunshine for tomorrow, but I'll let you know when thunderstorms return too. That's coming up. Here's a live look from our Eco Plumber Skycam. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
For the first time in years, West Nile virus has been found in Cincinnati's mosquitoes. And while it's not uncommon, the Cincinnati Health Department worries, though, the disease could spread to people. Morella Porter has more.
The best way to keep those numbers down is to keep your home from becoming a breeding ground.
And we want everybody to take precautions. It was first detected in the state and in Cincinnati in 2002. And since then, we've had 12 cases, but none since 2015.
The health department says reducing the mosquito population in Cincinnati will keep people's chances of getting sick down.
Mosquitoes need very little water in order to breed, but they do need water.
Getting rid of standing water is key. Experts with Mosquito Joe say just one bottle cap of water like this is enough to breed 300 mosquitoes. And we know all it takes is one to bite you.
If you're seeing 2 or 3, it probably means there's 200 or 300 on your property.
Limiting your time outdoors at dusk and dawn could reduce your chances of getting bitten. The type of clothing you wear and using insect repellent can also make a difference.
Well, the National Weather Service issuing a rare high risk of excessive rainfall for parts of New England today. This is after torrential rain inundated New York's Hudson Valley and eastern Pennsylvania yesterday. Now, the heavy rain hit parts of Connecticut, western Massachusetts, upstate New York, Vermont, and New Hampshire. Vermont's governor has declared a state of emergency as the National Weather Service warns of impacts the state hasn't seen since Hurricane Irene in 2011. Now, Governor Phil Scott says he's worried that region will see more rain than it saw during Irene due to the length of the storm.
That was in a 24-hour period. This is going on, and we're getting just as much rain, if not more, and it's going on for days. And that's my concern.
So areas of New England could see up to 4 more inches of rain before the storm clears tomorrow.
Yeah, quite a different story right here in the Miami Valley. We have high pressure keeping things very quiet, calm, and even that lower humidity across the area too, which will remain to be the trend for tomorrow, although we will start to see that mugginess creep up just a little bit, and then eventually going to see our storm chances increase. So there's that active weather off to the northeast. We got our next weather maker you could see making its way through Wisconsin right now. Going to be a frontal boundary making its way closer in, which will eventually increase our storm chances. Until then, it's going to be a nice one tomorrow. We'll start out in the 60s, 70s by 8 a.m., close to 90 degrees by tomorrow afternoon. We'll see lots of sunshine. By Wednesday, we start out mild. Wednesday afternoon, we'll start to see highs close to 90. And then in the evening, rain and thunderstorm chances return. I'm going to talk more about that coming up.
Natalie, thanks. Important information for DPS parents tonight. You now have more time to register your child to be a bus rider for the upcoming school year. DPS is extending the deadline to this Friday, July 14th. Forms submitted after that date will not guarantee bus service on the first day of school. A link to complete the bus rider registration form can be found in the web version of the story at Dayton247now.com.
In less than 24 hours from now, Dayton Public Schools will publicly discuss the search for a new superintendent. The school board will talk about their plans tomorrow night at the board meeting. Now, last week, the district announced Superintendent Dr. Elizabeth Lawley is leaving to take a job with Lakota local schools in Liberty Township. Lawley started as an interim superintendent in 2017 before being promoted in spring of 2018.
Today in Lebanon, the 16th Annual Furniture Fair charity golf outing was in full swing. This year, the event is benefiting the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. Hundreds of golfers they took to Shaker Run Golf Club to raise money for the charity. Those in attendance, they praised the job that the annual outing has done over the last 16 years.
I'm so thankful for so much support from around the country and in our community. Every little bit counts, as we know, and LLS does such a great job of, using those funds for research and resources for families.
Over the past 15 years, the charity event has raised more than $1.5 million to help fund the Society's life-saving research. The money also helps provide patient access, financial aid, and services for cancer patients and their families in our community and nationwide.
The Dayton Food Bank officially partnering with the Humana Healthy Horizons to improve health equity across the Miami Valley. The Medicaid benefits provider donated $285,000 to the food bank today in support of its mission to eliminate hunger and its root causes.
One of our larger donations. So we made what I will say were 2 significant investments. One in food security, And so we invested with Dayton Food Bank, the Mid-Ohio Food Collective, and the Greater Cleveland Food Bank. And we did that as a single donation and then broke it out by the 3 main food banks. And then we have a national partnership with Volunteers of America.
The health provider also helped distribute food to neighbors as part of a food drive.
Families in our communities are struggling to provide clean diapers for their babies, but you can help. We're partnering with the National Diaper Bank Network for Sinclair Care's Summer Diaper Drive. You can scan the QR code on your screen to help provide diapers for those in need right here in the Miami Valley.
A live look tonight from our Eco Plumber Skycam. Let's send it outside to our chief meteorologist, Natalie Walters.
Well, a beautiful one out here on our Watson's Weather patio. Temperatures fairly comfortable. Humidity not too bad either. Heading into the rest of the week, though, we're going to start to see humidity return and also those thunderstorm chances. So quiet as we look into our Tuesday. But Wednesday, we do have a level 1 threat for severe storms for most of the Miami Valley. This would mainly be damaging winds, and we're tracking late into the day on Wednesday night time frame. So we're going to watch that very closely. Thunderstorm chances even continue on for the rest of the week. I do think we'll have plenty of dry time, though, through the end of this week and into this weekend, but we still have the chance for some storms, mainly in the afternoon and evening hours. Next couple of days, it's going to be hot, though, upper 80s, right around 90 degrees, which will be back above normal for this time of the year. But I'll have a look at our 7-day coming up.
For those at the top of Ohio State's athletic department, one of OSU's biggest hurdles might not be on the field or the court. How the IRS could impact the college athletics at the state's largest school.
You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
College athletic departments like Ohio State have asked for federal input on the name, image, and likeness, and the IRS may oblige. But as Clay Hall reports, it might not be the oversight they were wishing for.
In June, the IRS disrupted the NIL world by releasing a memo indicating many organizations that fund college athletes will no longer be considered charitable. How does that affect the Ohio State collectives like the Foundation, which was the first on the scene in Columbus?
Even if the IRS were to do something with all the nonprofit collectives, it would really just hurt the charities because we're still going to raise money. We still have a lot of businesses supporting us. And instead of the individual donations, we'll just have them run it through their businesses because almost 99% of our donors have a business as well. So they can just run it through that as a marketing expense.
Some NIL collectives may be in limbo. The Cohesion Foundation has been a vigorous NIL player too and will fulfill its current obligations while it monitors the landscape. Just how important is NIL when it comes to recruiting student athletes?
I think the school and the coaches obviously are ahead of NIL, but then after that, I think it would be probably third.
And some advice for fans from Schottenstein.
There's a lot of instances, though, people will think, oh, we lost a player because NIL, and a lot of times that's not really the truth. So let's try to stay positive.
And that was Clay Hall reporting. Well, we are right in the middle of the 2023 MLB draft. There are a lot of rounds, and there are several local players. We got to hear their names called so far. University of Dayton and Wright State